All right, today we're going to talk about something that honestly sounds a little bit like magic. We're talking about measuring the energy use of every single light in your building or even across your entire portfolio of buildings without installing a single physical meter. So, how on earth does that work? And what could you even do with that kind of crazy detailed data? Let's get into it.
Just think about it for a second. Picture your office or a retail store you manage. The idea of metering every single light individually. You're probably imagining a total nightmare, right? All that wiring, the disruption, the cost. It seems like a massive, massive project. And you'd be right. Historically, for most people, the whole idea was a non-starter. The cost, the mess, the sheer complexity of it all just made it completely impractical. But what if there was a way to just skip all of that?
So, before we jump into the solution, let's just quickly frame the problem. To really get why this new way of thinking is such a big deal, we need to understand the fundamental challenge it's built to solve. Okay, so what exactly is Adquio PowerTrace? Well, first things first, it's not a piece of hardware. It's a layer of software, a layer of intelligence that lives on top of your existing Casambi lighting control network. And here's the key. It calculates your energy consumption virtually. No new meters, no pulling new wires. It's all done with data.
And here's the whole concept in a nutshell. It listens to all the digital chatter that's already happening on your lighting network. Lights turning on, dimming up, dimming down, and it translates all of that chatter into the one thing you really care about: precise, usable energy data in kilowatt hours. So you're probably asking, how is that even possible? How can you measure power without a meter? Well, the logic behind it is actually really clever, and it all comes down to three key steps.
First, the system simply listens. It's passively watching all the commands that are already flying around your network. Every single on, off, and dim command for every light. So it's gathering all the action data. But, that's only half the story. Because to make any sense of those actions, the system needs to know what it's controlling. And that's the second piece of the puzzle. Every light fixture gets its own unique digital fingerprint. This profile knows everything about that light: its power rating, its efficiency, and, this is super important, its specific dimming curve. It knows exactly how much energy it uses at 73% versus, say, 45%. And this is where the magic happens. The system takes the action it heard on the network and combines it with the light's unique fingerprint. It merges what the light was told to do with the profile of how it actually uses energy. And voila, it can calculate its precise consumption in real time. It's all about putting those two data sets together. Now, I know what you're thinking. This sounds complicated, like a huge IT project. But it's actually designed to be incredibly simple. Step 1, you connect it to the network. Step 2, you tell it which light profiles to use for which fixtures. And step 3, if you need absolute meter-grade precision, you run a quick, optional calibration. And that's it. You're up and running.
Okay, so that's the how. But what about the so what? Knowing how much power one light bulb is using is interesting, but turning that knowledge into actual value, that's the real goal. So let's look at the benefits.
And the benefits here are huge. It's not just about seeing power in real time. Think about cost allocation. For the first time, you can actually, accurately, bill a tenant or a department for their exact lighting energy use. No more estimates. Or what about ESG impact? You can now prove with hard, traceable data that your energy-saving projects are actually working. That's a total game changer for sustainability reports. What's really cool is seeing how this plays out in different places. In an office, this is how you finally find that vampire power, the energy being wasted by a floor that's supposed to be completely shut down. For a retailer, you could A/B test 2 different lighting setups in your stores and see which one saves more money without hurting sales. It basically turns your lighting system into a business intelligence tool.
Okay, this is a question that always comes up, and it's a fair one. If you're adding this new layer of software that's constantly listening to everything, is it going to slow things down? Is it going to mess with the actual control of the lights?
And the answer is a very simple, very clear no. The whole process is designed to be completely non-intrusive. It's a passive listener. It's like it's invisible on the network. It doesn't send any commands or create any extra traffic, so the performance of your lighting control is not affected at all. All right, the other big question. It's a virtual meter. So how accurate can it really be?
Can you actually trust this data for things like financial reports or verifying the ROI on a big retrofit project? Right out of the box, the accuracy is incredibly close to a physical meter. But for those situations where you need absolute, undeniable, bulletproof precision, that optional one-time calibration step fine-tunes the digital model, and it aligns it perfectly with a physical reading. After you do that once, the precision is locked in. So, we've walked through the problem, we've seen the pretty clever solution, and we've looked at the real-world impact. The question now becomes, what do you do with this information?
At the end of the day, that's what this is all about. It's about taking something that was basically just background noise, all those digital events happening on your network, and turning it into a powerful tool for making smart decisions. Decisions that have a real impact on your bottom line and your sustainability goals.
So, I'll just leave you with this thought. What could you accomplish if every single light in your building wasn't just another line item on a utility bill, but was an active data point? What new efficiencies could you find? That's the big shift in thinking this tech makes possible. And if you're ready to see what that actually looks like, well, the next step is to see it in action.